Hey everybody, David here, and today I wanted to make a list showcasing the top 10 Disney Plus original content that we had through the past year. Obviously, tomorrow, November 12th, is going to be the we're going to enter the third year of Disney Plus. I remember when it launched, I was super excited. I took the day off work that day just so I can try to review some content. And I think I reviewed that I thought was worth reviewing was The Mandalorian, obviously the first episode. And I think I also reviewed The Lady and the Tramp movie that they had up there. And they're going to have some new original content coming out tomorrow as well as some content that is like Shang-Chi and Jungle Book will be available for everybody. I saw both of those movies a while back, so I'm looking forward to seeing Shang-Chi again for sure. Let's get right into this list, though. First, I want to start off with some honorable mentions. Ones that didn't make my top 10, but I feel like recommending them anyways, because I'll admit right now, I think year two of Disney Plus was so much better than year one. I think year one, we had some good stuff, but they weren't like juicy stuff that, like, if you didn't sign up yet for year one, then maybe it's not worth it for you. Year two, I think, is the year that if you're a nerd like me specifically, there was some great content out there for Pixar fans, for Disney fans, for Marvel fans, for Star Wars fans. I am not going to count the things from year one, so like The Mandalorian season two, isn't going to count on this list, even though that kind of aired before November 12th of last year. It's not going to count because it was part of the year one stuff. This is only counting the stuff that came into year two. So from November 12th, 2020 to today, November 11th, 2021. So let's get right into it. The second year of Disney Plus. What are some of these honorable mentions that I should talk about? First of all, there's the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I thought that was a really fun show earlier this year. I'm hearing that Emilio Estevez might not return now for season two. I really hope Disney works on this, figure out what the problem is and how they can fix it, because I think for someone like me who didn't have interest in this show, Emilio Estevez is a big draw to the old timers like me that grew up watching the Mighty Ducks as a kid. That's the thing that brings them in. It's great for a new generation of kids, but I feel like if you lose Emilio Estevez, you're gonna lose the parents who probably watch it with their kids. Now they'll be like, okay, you can watch that on your own, son or daughter or whoever's watching the show. So yeah, I think they need to work on that contract, make a deal or something. I don't know what they have to do, but they should be trying to get Emilio Estevez back or get Joshua Jackson back to be the new coach. I don't know. Because let's face it, the mother is not ready yet to coach the team by herself. Moving on, another honorable mention I want to say is Big Shot with John Stamos. I thought that show was really surprising and enjoyable. Turner and Hooch, another really fun show that I thought I wasn't gonna love, but turned out to be more fun than I thought. My brother Kevin and my parents all watched it week after week, and we all ended up enjoying it. I think my mom really enjoyed it a lot more than my dad, but my brother and me, we both enjoyed it. It's a fun little show. It's a fun little comedy show. So and if you go back and watch the original Turner and Hooch, which I did because I never saw the movie fully, I ended up really enjoying the original movie too. So it was really nice. Another honorable mention is Marvel Studios Assembled. This is kind of like the Star Wars gallery where it's behind the scenes, but this time behind each episode that they put up is a behind the scenes on either the Disney Plus shows or the movies that come out in theaters, because we did get Black Widow, and apparently tomorrow we'll be getting a Shang-Chi focused episode. Another One more honorable mention is the Mysterious Benedict Society, another show that I thought the trailer actually looked pretty decent for it, and it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the one with the three kids, the Lemony Snickets, a series of unfortunate events, the series that they did with Neil Patrick Harris. I felt it was very similar in tone of that show, very weird and fun. So yeah, I actually enjoyed that, and I'm hoping for a second season of that show as well, because I thought. Yeah, I'll watch more. I'll watch more, especially the way they ended it. So now let's get into the top 10. Those are my honorable mentions. Now I want to talk about the top 10. What made my top 10 for year two? First, at number 10 is Doug Days. These were a series of shorts that were released, and I really love them. I think they are some of the best shorts that Disney Plus have put up. They putting up some great shorts, original shorts. But none of them made my top 10. Doug Days, though, easily made my top 10. And maybe it came at the perfect time because I did lose my dog. And that final short, man, I teared up. I teared up. So, you know, my dog, he'll be my pet, but he'll also be my best friend. And I'll always remember him. Next up at number 9 is Behind the Attractions, which showcased a couple of Disneyland rides, Disneyland and Disney World rides, as well as some of the other theme parks. They focused on the Disney castles. They focused on the Haunted Mansion, which eventually in one of the parks became the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Oh, no, that was the Tower of Terror. Sorry, guys. They focused on trains because Walt Disney's love for trains. They focused on Twilight Tower of Terror, I already said. Jungle Cruise, of course, because they tied it in with the Jungle Cruise movie. And I love those Disney park behind the scenes. You know, the Imagineering Story was another documentary that made my list last year for year one. And yeah, this was just a fun one. I don't think it was as good as the Imagineering Story because I like the more dramatic how they made it more dramatic in the Imagineering Story. This one was more fun though, and I liked it a lot because of that. But some of it was like treading some familiar territory that the Imagineering Story kind of covered. But there were some nice tidbits too. Like I liked learning about the hotels and the Disney castles and the trains, which I thought were going to be some of the weaker episodes. They actually turned out to be some of the most fun ones, including the Hall of Presidents, which I thought was... that's my least favorite ride at Disney World as far as I'm concerned. It's not even a ride, it's an attraction. But yeah, they kind of shed some light on it that kind of made me respect it, especially if you are into American history. It kind of made me wish that we had something like that for Canadians. You know, having all the Canadian prime ministers on stage together. I thought that would be cool. Moving on to number 8, Luca. Luca was supposed to go to theaters, but went straight to Disney Plus, so it makes it a Disney Plus original in my book. And I love Luca. I think Luca was a great Pixar film, a lot of fun. Not the best Pixar film, but it might have made my top 10, maybe. I have to think about that. Maybe top 15. Pixar has a lot of great movies. So just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think Pixar has a tough list to put together. It's like kind of hard for me because I love most of their films. So yes, Luca made my top 10. Next up is another Pixar property, Monsters at Work. That's right. This is the series that is a spinoff from Monsters University and Monsters Inc. It takes place after Monsters Inc., unlike Monsters University, which took place before. And look, as someone who loved Monsters University, and I like Monsters Inc. a lot too, Monsters at Work to me was so much fun. I loved it. I loved every episode. It's right up there with another animated show that's on this list that I'm going to talk about in a few seconds. So I think it really captured the spirit of Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, and I hope more people check it out because I would love a season 2 continuing in this world and exploring this world more, you know? And I want more shows based on Pixar. I really want an Incredibles series. I'm telling you, I'm throwing that out there. If you can do this for Monsters Inc., give us an Incredibles series because Incredibles, in the day and age of superheroes, Incredibles can have so many great stories to tell. And you keep the series short like you did with Monsters at Work. I think 10 episodes was perfect. I didn't think any episode was wasted. I thought it was a lot of fun. Give us an Incredibles series also. Incredibles could easily work as a series. So throwing that out there for Pixar and Disney to listen to because I want that. Moving on, What If? That's right. This is the other animated series I really loved this year. What If is probably my favorite new animated series right now. I love how they did what if stories of the movies, like what if different scenarios we see them in. Some stories were a little similar to the movies, like the Captain Carter episode, but I didn't mind it. I loved it. And then some episodes were like very different, like the zombie episode and the finale, the 2-part finale was very different. Obviously, that was an original story. If like Ultron got the Infinity Stones and not only destroyed the universe, but destroyed the multiverse, or was out there destroying the multiverse as well. So yeah, What If, definitely easily on my top 10. I love all the actors they brought back. So much fun. Moving on to my number 5 movie is Soul. Soul came out at the end of last year, so it made it on year 2 of Disney Plus. It came out in December, so it counts. And yeah, I think it is one of the best Pixar movies of all time. It's definitely top 10. That one I can say for sure. It's top 10 Pixar movies. And the story, the messages, everything that they had in that movie were fantastic and compelling. And I really, yeah, I thought Soul is a great movie. And people that, how should I say this? It's deep. It asks deep questions, I feel. And including my mom and one of my brothers felt this way as well. That Soul definitely had deep themes in it that could fly by kids' heads. I don't see kids appreciating that movie as much as adults. I think that was more of an adult film than a kids' film. So that's how I feel about Soul. But most people would say most of Pixar's movies are kind of like adult films, but they play well with kids too. So that they're targeted towards kids, but they play like adult films. So think about that. Look throughout those movies, a lot of those movies, and think of the themes that they're touching on and the messages that they're trying to send out to the adults. They're not sending those messages out to kids. So thinking about life is not something kids think about, at 5 years old. That's something you think about when you're in your teens, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Like that's when we start contemplating about life. So, and that's what Soul was about. Moving on to number 4 is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yes, this is one of my all-time. These top 4 are easily they're like The Mandalorian for me. So prepare for what is in the top 4. Falcon and Winter Soldier, one of the most anticipated shows for me. I loved it. I loved how they really elevated Bucky and Sam to the next level. I loved when Sam finally got to put on that costume. I can't wait for Captain America 4, where we're going to see Sam Wilson in next, leading the next Captain America. Obviously, Chris Evans is done. Steve Rogers is retired. He's old now, living with Peggy. Or now he's just old. But great. I can't wait to see more of Sam Wilson as Captain America. And I hope Bucky comes along too. I hope we see him again too somewhere down the road. Maybe in Black Panther 2, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, or maybe in Captain America 4. I don't care. Give us more Bucky. Give us more Sam. I love that interaction that they really had in the show. It really elevated them from characters that I thought were cool, but now they are characters that I think are awesome, and I want to see more of them. Next up is Loki. Loki is at 3rd place on my list, and yes, I loved Loki. I loved the multiverse concept. I do think the show kind of might have lost some people along the way. I know my father, out of all the Marvel shows, this is the one that he slept during. And he was excited for Loki because he loves the Loki character in the Thor movies, but this is the one that wasn't for him. But me and my brother and my mom, we all loved it. I think my other brother loved it too. Yeah, I loved Loki and Tom Hiddleston. I can't wait for season 2. I want more King the Conqueror. We know he's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which he's filming right now, but we also know that somehow he's going to be involved in Loki season 2. Now, whether Loki season 2 comes out before Ant-Man and the Wasp or not, Quantumania, we'll have to wait and see. I think it will come out before, because that movie's coming out in 2023. I think they're going to get another Loki series before that. So we could get another Loki series next year. They seem very confident on that. They put at the end, Loki will return in season 2. So season 2 is coming. You can't leave a cliffhanger like that and not have it happen. Next up on the list might surprise a lot of people. At number 2, I have Only Murders in the Building. This is a series that features Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. I love this series. I love murder mysteries. Knives Out was another great murder mystery that maybe kicked off things like this. I know the original Clue movie from the 1980s, I think 1987, with Tim Curry was really good. Yeah, I loved Only Murders in the Building. I love the mystery aspect. I love them trying to solve. I love the interaction between the three main characters. I thought the supporting characters were all great too. This was a show that I was so confident my brother and my sister-in-law would love that I even recommended it to them. Because, my brother likes a lot of the nerdy stuff too. Maybe not as much as I like the nerdy stuff. Except if it's Star Wars, then he loves the nerdy stuff. But I was so confident that him and his wife were gonna love. My sister-in-law was gonna love this show, that I had to recommend it to them, and thankfully they got on board with it also. So my entire family was watching Only Murders in the Building, and yeah, we all loved it, and we all can't wait for season 2. So let's get that going, Disney. Come on. I know that was part of the Hulu side of things, but if you live in Canada, Disney Plus gets some of the Hulu and FX shows. So on Disney Plus, it comes part of the Star package. If you activated Star, you get a lot of that stuff from Hulu and FX and 20th Century Fox, etc. So if you live in Canada or anywhere that has Star, activate that as soon as possible. You want to get that stuff on your Disney Plus, because more stuff is coming, including tomorrow, that I'm looking forward to. WandaVision is my number one favorite series or original content that came on Disney Plus this year. This was the one that kicked off 2021, and I think it's the best of the new year so far. I loved WandaVision. The praise that it got from a lot of people is what very much deserved. The nominations it got at the Emmy, I think it got nominated for 24 Emmy Awards. All the way through, it deserved it. I was one of the people that saw from the beginning, from the black and white episodes, how special this show was going to be, because I knew where they were. I was already getting the hint at where they were taking this, but I was like, just like everybody else, I was trying to figure out what was going on. There were some people that didn't give the black and white episodes a chance at first. But then once they got to episode 3 or 4, that's where things started becoming more clear and people were getting more into it. And that just shows sometimes you have to give shows time to grow. And I really appreciated the black and white episodes, because I did go back and watch comedy shows from that era after, specifically the shows that influenced them. And if you really go back and see, that's how comedy shows were back then. So they really captured the essence, whether you thought it was funny or not, they captured the essence of that time period, and they did it well. And look, there were some funny moments in those episodes. They might have not been like laugh out loud funny, but I chuckled a little bit. There was one joke in episode 2, I know for sure, that really made me laugh out loud. So WandaVision, easily the best of year 2 of Disney Plus. So hopefully, if you haven't checked out any of these shows or shorts or movies, hopefully this is a good enough recommendation for you guys, and you guys go check that out. I think these are worthy stuff to check out. Or if you haven't signed up to Disney Plus yet, sign up to it now and check out some of this stuff. I think they are worth checking it out. So with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel and comment below and tell me what were some of your favorite things that came out of year 2 of Disney Plus. There are a lot of things that I didn't even mention that could have made your list. So let me know. Tell me about that Journey Beyond, because I stopped watching that after episode 3. I was like, nah, this show's not for me. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what original content did you enjoy. So with that being said, go through a list of things that came out this year and tell me. With that being said, until next time, everybody, take care.